All right, so we're transitioning over now. Stream should pick it up in just a moment, but we are back with some first edition Dungeons and Dragons goodness, or possibly badness, and I should turn down the volume again. I keep forgetting this on the stream. There we go. All right, guys. So we are continuing on with our murder investigation. And let's see who we have for a cast tonight. So, Dion, would you introduce yourself and the character that you're playing? We'll do all the plugs at the end of the game.
Yeah, I am Dion, and I am playing NPC, who is a human fighter.
Nice. Jen?
Uh, I am really excited to continue playing Odette, who is the Disney Princess Druid. Continually collecting really creepy creatures. I need to start keeping notes of which creatures I have. Um, I'm excited to animal friendship more tonight.
Yes.
And see what Bert lets me get away with.
The flea from last time.
His name is Snickers. I remember his name is Snickers. Snickers the flea.
All right, Brendan. What are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Gronwolf, who's a magic user. He's also a food user in that he eats things he shouldn't and often has an irritable bowel as a result. He's currently pretty solid and regular for what it's worth, and he did help deposit Snickers in the ear of a particular cad during last session, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
You know, that's just going to have to be the thing each week. We're going to just have to ask what the consistency of Grown Wolf stool is for the episode, just go from there.
Just good color, good firmness. Just a good day for Gronwolf. Yeah. He's eating his bran.
The Mighty Oak.
Hey, I will be playing Thybor, the extremely ugly, extremely non-charming half-orc fighter.
But he tries. He tries so hard.
With his crown of control that uses charisma to influence people that he can't do. Actually, he has a couple times, surprising.
Richard, you have a new
Hi,
character.
I am new to this group. That doesn't mean I'm instantly the suspect or the one to be killed off in the first scene, please. I will be playing Tristram. I will change my name. I will be playing Tristram, who is the Remuneration Redistribution Specialist, or Thief, if you prefer the old school words.
Well, if you've got to be derogatory about it. So Tristram is just going to be part of the rescued crew, one of the adventurers that you found in the Underdark. So he's been around the whole time, just hasn't really played much involved in things other than making sure that he survives, which he has for now. Okay, guys, you had a really interesting last session. Let's just say the churches are going to have some issues for a bit as their leaders got a little bit turned about some. That left you with the head of the Church of Osbrum, who is a bit senile after confronting his number 2 and finding out that this guy for a long time now has been faking it. Hasn't been granted spells by his deity, and has basically been run out of town. What's next? You have a couple of other people to interview. You've got some other things to do, but shifting the power balance within the Church of Osbrum really, while useful to the town, hasn't really put you any further around your suspect list.
However, I feel that it helps us because now we're kind of in pretty tight with that cleric or druid man. So I feel that maybe it might be safe to ask him questions.
Right. And as I was saying, unfortunately, restoring the power balance has done nothing to improve his memory. He's still senile. He did confirm that absolutely he wasn't in Restonford, that he was, in fact, communing with nature during that period. He didn't set foot in Restonford, so he's not exactly sure why he is a suspect. Can anyone prove that alibi? Well, there was a certain bear he had a tussle with. He supposes if you find the bear, you might be able to confirm this for you.
I can talk to bears, so I mean, and I've always wanted a bear, so
I mean,
Well,
can
this
we
is a
ask him
quite
if he
surly
can?
bear.
There's a long-running ode bear to Jen from a previous campaign that she and I were in. So if there's an
Ode
opportunity
bear.
for a bear,
I'm owed a bear. Oh my god.
Ode a bear, I see.
I mean, I, I, I would probably know that you can talk to animals by now, right, Jen?
Oh yeah, because I was talking to that flea. He was doing a little dance
So
to give me answers.
why don't we ask Old Man Jenkins if he can lead us to the bear, and maybe we can talk to him.
Take us to your bear.
Hmm. Well, again, his memory isn't so great. Like, he can lead you into the forest where he believes he was, and you might be able to find the bear, but he's not positive of that. Also, you've caused quite an upheaval in his church, which he's going to have to stay around for a few days to get things settled down and to administer to his flock, which has been plying the church with gold for months now, but getting nothing back from it. And well, he needs to settle that. So he's not opposed
I'd
to
be
doing
happy to
it.
help out with that if you need a hand or something. I can
I
do it.
mean, we do still need to also question the gate guards about the men that left the other
Well,
day.
Right.
Well, the gate guards are in the other town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even been over there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
You,
been
you still
focusing
have
here.
you still have leads here. You've got two more people
Mhm.
that you need to talk to that were suspects.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of them is Abraham at the inn, and the other guy is the performer, the one who has a theater company.
His name started with a B.
Barlow.
How did we
Barlow.
finish up last time? Because I remember us having like half a crowd wanting to lynch somebody. Did we finish that up?
Yeah.
Every
yeah.
time he was, every time that guy like was, I can't remember his name. I'm finding my notes right now.
I
But
can't remember the damn end. I thought
I-
we'd left in the middle of that.
I made the flea do a little dance.
No,
Every
it ended
time.
with the challenge that he was asked to perform a healing and he couldn't do it because he hadn't been
That's
granted
right,
spells.
Ran away.
And he ran for it. He was basically ran out of town. I'm going to say Christopher's character is cooling his heels in a jail cell because, he did go out on the ocean on a holy day.
He's
Nothing
in religion
big.
jail.
He's just going to have to spend the next day or so in jail, and then they'll release him.
Has the crowd dispersed by this time, or are people still kind of gathered around?
The crowd's still around. Some people are trying to get together a mob to go and find the charlatan cleric. Some people are now going after the church, asking, look, we paid a fortune in gold. My son's still sick, and that's all being harassed about as well. So yes, there is still a crowd here.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna like meander through for the time being and just kind of make pleasantries with the people and just be like, I'm sorry for this confusion. We didn't mean to cause any trouble. We're just kind of doing what we feel is right, and we didn't mean to stress anyone out. Just kind of casually like meandering through and just like since I was with the group, they know I'm with them. It's just like one of those like, hey, sorry about everything. This was a really crazy day.
Yeah, the tone of the crowd is not good. They feel used and abused, and the fact that you're outsiders here causing problems. Well, you did a good thing for the town. It's still potentially not a good scene for you. So people grumble at you a bit. But yeah, so you're taking the temperature of the crowd. It's still ugly, but things are getting resolved.
I set up a very tiny actual flea circus with like Snickers doing tricks on like a tiny like little seesaw, so I can like calm people down.
Right.
I have a charlatan's tent about all the crazy samples of world-ending funguses and things that I have, and carnival bark people in to see the deadliest foe they'll ever encounter, and it's just a little jar of red bullshit that I have.
So you guys are setting up hawker tents in the middle of this since you've got a crowd, right? Surprised you're not selling T-shirts.
Hold the
Okay.
skull of many mysteries.
It may talk to one of us and no one else.
I'll just do if we're having like a carnival kind of thing, then I'll do just barefisted like wrestling and stuff. If
I
anybody
love
wants
it.
to try to best the half orc.
Pay your coin and try to wrestle the half orc to the ground, right? Covered in oil. Let's make it interesting.
Greased half pig.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh,
Oh, wow. All right, fine. You're turning it into a carnival.
Trying to lift spirits.
Yeah, well, it works
Yeah.
somewhat. It works somewhat. People are less angry. You're told that your friend, while he's being jailed, he'll be treated well. It's just there has to be some repercussion for breaking their edicts, going out onto the ocean on a holy day.
That's cool. You can put
Okay.
him in jail.
So
But only for one session.
the afternoon wears on. People seem to be heard at the church, and so it seems like they're getting things ironed out. So the person ran off is Harper. They do get a group of people to go out and see if they can apprehend him, wanting to bring him to justice as well. So there is, half a dozen people get together, go and try and locate him. But still, that leaves you guys and a mystery to solve. What do you want to do? So this all happened really early. So this is still, like around afternoon, early afternoon.
I mean, does anybody want to see if we can go find that bard, the theater guy?
I've known to have a flair for the dramatic. I like the idea of checking out a performer. Sure.
Hmm. And I mean, is anybody willing to go talk to the innkeeper?
I can go talk to the innkeeper.
You
I'll
don't
bring
want
my
me talking to
louse.
people.
Direct me where you want me to go, as I am still new to this place, and I'm not entirely certain where it would be best placed.
I feel that maybe Oak and Tristan would be good going with Jen to deal with the bar, just in case. Bars, people are amped up today. People might have wanted a fight. Who knows if things get ugly? And then, I mean, I'm sure the theater will be kind of non-dramatic.
I mean, I'll be
In a
there, so no
sense.
guarantees.
Yeah, that's just my thought. So I mean, I'm good with going to just check out the theater with Grown Wolf.
As long as I'm not the only one going to do all the talking, y'all don't want that.
He's
Why?
so
You've done
good at
so
it.
well.
So the party is splitting up, is what I'm hearing. So part of you are going to go check out the theater, and part of you are going to go to the public house and talk to Abraham.
We're gonna
Sounds
do
good.
it.
Sound good? All right. Well, let's start at the theater then. Who was going to the theater?
Grown Wolf and Dion NPC. Yeah, and Club. Yeah, no.
All right. Good enough. So it is the Theater of the Mystic Celebration. At least that is what the placard maintains as you are going down. It's a fairly nice building. It seems to be 2 stories. There's like an amphitheater for outside plays, and it looks like the building itself is big enough for indoors as well. Currently, there are people out in the amphitheater. It looks like they are going over their lines for a new play. And you do see Balmaro, is actually his name, who was the person potentially as suspect as well. He is going over his lines with his fellows. There are 12 of these, him plus his crew. There are 12 out here going over the lines. They're not in costume currently, and nothing is really set up for the play itself anytime soon. Looks like they are rehearsing something new. You come up and Well, Morrow turns and sees your group coming by, and he's like, "Oh, please, please, no outsiders today. We have nothing to perform for you, if you will. Our art needs some time to percolate."
We were actually looking to just speak with you, sir. A man of your talent I know is very busy, but if we could
Oh,
even
yes,
just
certainly.
spare a
I am
moment.
booked out for the rest of this month. I'm afraid. If you are new patrons, he bows. I will gladly accept your coin for whatever it is you wish me to perform. But I'm sorry. I'm rather booked out
Oh,
for the rest of
it's
this
not
month.
a performance. We actually just have some questions about some recent events, and we'd really enjoy the expertise of someone who has a flair for uh,
The
theatrics.
traumatic.
It's quite a theatrical experience actually. If you do have a moment, we could explain.
All right, let's see if you convince him. He's a busy man. You have really no authority. Give me a charisma check.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
This is why it's a flair for the traumatic instead of the
Oh
Oh
dramatic.
my gosh.
no.
I am afraid I have no time for you today. Perhaps tonight, this evening at the inn, we can discuss over an
My
ale
friend,
on you.
I understand. The stakes could not be higher. This deals with murder most foul.
Oh, murder! We haven't put on one of those in a while. Give me a charisma check.
Okay. All right. Checking. And that's RD20 with no mod. I rolled under.
Okay.
Or I matched, actually. I matched.
But I feel that you don't mean a play or a drama.
No, this murder in particular had real life consequences, and rumor has it you may know something about it.
Well, rumor is like a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways. It can help and it can hinder. Which are you, my friend?
Well, having been on the side of hinder myself, I totally relate to your reluctance. People often say I eat foul things, and it's just not true, and it's really harmed my reputation. So, with that in mind, I'd like to talk to you about, the murder of a particular, let's say, servant of the people, somebody that's a bit political. I don't know how much I want to go into in front of your friends here before
Right.
we walk away.
Yeah, this does cause some murmuring because, of course, the death of
Mhm.
Restonford's Duke hasn't really, it's not really gotten around very much yet.
Well, and that's kind of
Yeah.
why, like, I wanted to plant just enough to make him uncomfortable and maybe want him to shuffle away,
And
right?
it's like, well, I am not aware of any of our politicians meeting an untimely end, but we'll hear you out. You continue without me. Take it from the top, page 12.
That's my favorite page, I say, as we walk away.
Yes, it's a good even number. And I follow.
Yeah, he will take you into the building into it's basically it's a small office, just sheaves and sheaves of paper all over the place, scrolls laying everywhere. It's fairly untidy. And as when you come in, he kind of drops the act a bit and says, "So, are you working for the town? What is this about murder?"
Uh, do you want to explain or should I?
Go for it, because I think Grown Wolf would be like paying attention at this
Hmm.
point and scrutinizing. In fairness,
Uh, we are serving as a neutral investigative party that is unaligned with any of the parties involved. We're simply looking for factual evidence and truths, and we want to make things right. Um, so any
How
information at
exactly am I
all.
involved in this?
Do you have a instrument with golden strings?
He points at the wall. There's a lute hanging there with golden strings.
Mm. We were in. There have been murmurs of an individual with a instrument of golden strings that was found the day uh, of the murder, leaving town, and there was a golden string that was left in the room of the victim.
At this point, as it's being explained, I'd like to take a step towards the instrument and see how he reacts. Like reach for it.
Oh, he pulls it off the wall and hands it to you. Well,
Okay.
I haven't left town in some time. Who was it that was murdered?
I kind of look over at Grown Wolf if I should say it first.
I'd like to, before I give that indication, take a look at this and see if I can tell if any of the strings seem like they've been placed newer. Like, is
Sure.
there dirt?
Yeah.
Is there dirt in the linings, or you know what I mean? Like,
I
where they're
got you.
wrapped in.
Make me an intelligence check.
Okay. All right. Since we're rolling under, my mod would be a minus, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, you don't add your mod. You're just trying to get your underneath your.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
stat.
Fair. I am higher, despite
Okay.
having a pretty high.
Well, looking at it, all the strings are new.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're not dirty in the least. They're still very bright. They look like they haven't actually been played much because if you run your fingers through them, the tuning is still a little off, as often the case with fresh strings.
So how recently did you change these strings?
No, I don't change them myself. I have someone that does that.
And how recently was it done?
He motions for the lute. If you hand it to him, he plays it a little bit. He tunes it up a little bit. He says, well, I haven't played this particular lute in several weeks. These strings are new. I can... Well,
How long ago was the murder? When he says several weeks, I forget exactly.
Well, the
how
murder
long
was just a day ago.
Okay.
Well, the
okay.
body was found a day ago. The murder happened Sunday. You arrived
Okay.
here Monday. It's
Okay.
Tuesday now.
And when he says that, then I'd like, with that knowledge, to say, you say someone else does this for you. Who is that person, and can I talk to them?
Oh, sure. The only young, he kind of motions for somebody that's quite short. The only young man you'll find around here. He sees to the stables and to our needs as actors.
I again look at Grown Wolf and I'm like, should we inform him of the deceased's identity?
I think I'm gonna nod because I want to see what his reaction is to hearing the name. If it seems like it's a surprise, or if it's like nonchalant.
And out of character to confirm, because I have a terrible memory, it was the Baron, right, that was killed. What was his name?
Of Restonford, which is not this city.
Okay, the Baron
Grellis.
of Restonford, yeah. Baron Grellis of Restonford was found murdered in his room just the other day, Sunday.
He pauses for a moment and he says, I don't understand. What does that have to do with myself or our town here?
There was eyewitnesses that stated that you and one other person were seen leaving the town after the body was discovered.
Not preposterous. I haven't left town in months.
Do you have any enemies that would be magically inclined? I know that the theater mentions, a mystical something or another. Do you have any enemies that would seek to ruin a reputation or seek to disguise themselves as you to hinder your image, or any rival troops? Or
you are all visitors here. You're not from Geratin or Restonford, am I correct?
That is correct.
And what is your official capacity? Who are you working for?
We were hired by the consul? The consul, right? Out of character?
Yeah. Actually, technically, yeah, the consul gave you some things to help, but it was Phelim, the mage, that hired you.
Phelim, the mage. Okay, so I tell him Phelim, the mage, had requested us to be the non-affiliated party. We've ran into some trouble, and they said if we can provide a perfect non-biased opinion, since we're not from here, they could help us fix our ship and move on.
He thinks for a minute, and then he points to your character, Dion. He says, you, close those windows. Shutter those windows. You help me with the door. And he goes and drops a bar over the door and starts to move some material over it to kind of dampen sound.
I shut the windows as tightly as well as I can.
Look, you being new here, perhaps don't know the reputation that Garatin has.
Well, why don't you inform us then?
Well, it's often said that if you need a man killed, you come to Garatin. I have been, for over a year now, convinced that there is an assassin's guild in this city operating, taking commitments from those in power to execute others. I've yet to be able to prove anything. But one does not get this reputation if there is not a kernel of truth to it.
What is your relationship with the gentleman who delivers alcohol to the towns?
Abraham?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Abraham and the Hierophant of the church, they are friends of mine, good friends. We are a small concern that is looking into this assassin problem.
You all three of you have been looking into this?
We have.
All three of you are the main subjects.
Convenient. What proof had
Again.
they that I was seen in Restonford?
Guards at the gates stated that you and Abraham left the morning after the body was discovered.
And there was a gold
Um,
string. The
there
matter
was-
of the gold string.
A
A
gold
gold
string was
string.
found under the bed. A button from Abraham's vest allegedly was found clasped within the Baron's hands.
And
when
how would the
discovered.
guards know who we are? We don't go to Restonford often. Did they know us by name? Did they know us by sight? Did they simply describe individuals like us?
They described an individual that had used a lute with golden strings and described Abraham as the man doing his standard deliveries of his goods to the inn.
So it was a red button that was found. Abraham is known to wear red. That was the connection there.
Yep,
and-
and we also found a ruby eye
Yeah.
from the clergyman's necklace.
And we're able to confirm independently that his necklace did indeed lose a ruby eye.
Interesting. And as you have no doubt noticed, my lute has recently been changed. Therefore, a string could have come from my lute. He strokes his chin. Well, I can offer you nothing but the truth that I have. I have not left this place. You say he was killed Sunday. They confirmed on Monday. On Sundays, I'm afraid I lock myself in these offices. I write. I make myself fluent with the plays that we have coming up. There's honestly no one that could likely confirm that unless they saw me in passing. This is my usual habit. Every Sunday, I do this.
Who all has access to this room with this loot then?
Generally, these rooms are not locked. Any of the performers.
Any
Willem.
new performers in the company?
New? No. Our troupe has been together for well over a year now. As I said, Willem, the young man, is the one who likely strung my lute. He has been with me also almost 2 years now.
Is your troupe able to vouch for an alibi for Sunday to Monday?
Again, unless
With
they
your-
just saw me in passing, I'm afraid not. I stay to my rooms the day. I'm here until late evening before I go home. If someone saw me in passing, perhaps, but it's not likely as the troupe takes Sundays off.
Are there any waste baskets in this room? Any areas of refuse?
Oh, yeah, there's like crumpled up papers just shoved in corners.
I'm gonna look to see if there are strings in the waste basket and how many there are.
Yeah, he's not offended at all. He just let you go to town. No, no broken strings.
Hmm.
Um, again,
So
I
other
might
than you
ask.
two, who
Oh,
else is there? I'm sorry, there was a third. Who was the third? No one, just you two.
yeah, it was just us.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so again, I might ask, do you have any enemies of the three of you together, even that you can identify that
That I
maybe
can
lead us in a
identify,
direction?
no, but we have been paying gold for information as to root out any Assassin's Guild that might be in this town. I have a vested interest as my master was killed by an assassin's blade. I have a very deep-rooted suspicion that assassin resides in this town.
Who have you been paying for the information?
Here and there, merchants in passing. I mean, assassins need specialized equipment. Poisons, yes. When we have merchants come in selling such things, I often ask who shops with them. I'm afraid, though, in the year that I've spent doing this, I've found no link. No link. They are well hidden, I suspect. Are protected even by any kind of nods, those in the tower.
Well, we've been suspicious enough of those who've hired us to not, let's say, blindly assume they're not involved. So if there is any additional information, our our goal may be your goal. So these other gentlemen, these other fellows that you're working with, like if there's anything you could tell us to get us in good with them, in good standing, like we're working at the same problem here, I suspect.
The only thing that strikes me as odd is that loot that you're interested in. The strings, the last I played, were in perfect pitch, in good shape. Why Willem had chose to restring it is unusual. Perhaps you can speak to Willem. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
in the stables.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I believe that's all we're going to get out of you. If again, if there's something that you can tell us about Abraham in terms of maybe a good word, that would be great. Maybe like, anything that we could relate to our companions. I'm just thinking of like if we book over there after this, we could say, "Hey, we're all on the same team here." That's the only thing I'm thinking.
Abraham is a friend of mine, but I do not know his habits, particularly what he does on Sundays. I'm afraid I cannot vouch for him whether he was in Geraten or not.
Understood. You're not quite as close of friends as I had assumed. Thank you. And then I'm gonna beeline it to Willem.
You bitch.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Before I leave, I look to him and I go, I trust you and believe your story, and I want you to know that, we are here to do the right thing and to find the right people at fault. Any alibi that you can find, any evidence to prove that you've not been there and that you've been here, that you have on hand, I would suggest that you get it in order and organized so that we have a case so that nothing could be used against you.
As I said, unless one of the
Also,
troops saw me, I can provide no alibi.
hmm,
And if I were to ask them, would you accept their word if I were to tell them to give you an alibi? I don't believe that would be well intentioned.
I mean, we are looking when we make our way back to that city to speak to the guards and to get that information. So we've just been over here the past day or so. The next thing I'd like to ask you is if this is a case where you have an enemy seeking to frame you, that I ask that you try to keep yourself protected in these times. I know that you are busy and your work is a masterpiece. I saw even a tidbit of it and I'm impressed and I hope to come back and see it. But I also fear for your safety right now. So please keep yourself protected.
Well taken. He fishes out a thin blade that he straps to his side and a few daggers. Let's cut scenes to, the Inn of Abraham, where when you show up, there is a bit of a spectacle going on. Abraham is being led away from his establishment by soldiers who have him cowled, a bag over his head, his hands tied behind his back, and they are leading him out of his establishment. People around are jeering, throwing bits of food and vegetables at the guards, who, look a little ashamed. They're like, "Look, we were commanded to bring him to the castle. Don't take this out on us."
I want to
Abraham
like
mutters something underneath the hood, which can't hear because, well, he's hooded.
lean in to like the crowd and be like, "What's going on? I was hoping to get a good drink today. Where's Abraham going?"
And these soldiers just came in, demanded to find where Abraham was, and just bagged him and bound. They say they're taking him to the tower.
What happens at the tower?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
On a Sunday even?
This isn't a Sunday. This is a Tuesday.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Even on a Tuesday? The holy day for the sea?
Not a holy day for the gallows, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. A question. This is out of character. How much authority do we feel like we got from the council to like investigate this?
Little. Little. You're basically given permission to do it, but not with any kind of like weight behind that. So as much as you can feign, it's whatever you can get away with.
Would I believe that it's the council that has sent for Abraham?
Yeah, certainly. Or somebody on the council.
Okay, then I would like to make an attempt at lying.
All right. So
I'd like to lie.
Okay, you're going to speak to one of the
I wanna
guards. There are
speak to the
4
guards.
guards here. One is behind Abraham, making sure that he doesn't break his bonds. They're all armed with swords and spears. They're all armored as well. All right. So what do you want to say?
So I want to approach them, and I want to first of all like say, it looks like you're doing a good job here, but we can take it from here. And the council has sent us to bring Abraham to the tower. He's mostly harmless, so
Make a charisma check.
okay. Oh no. Oh, mine. So my charisma's an 18.
Okay. Yes, the council did tell us that there were outsiders that were looking into this, but we
Yes.
feel that we have unraveled. He looks around. Perhaps we can speak outside. The news shouldn't be spread in this way.
Yes, let's speak outside.
Okay. Everyone else is with Odette, right?
Come on,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
You're all there. Okay.
Well, do I need to keep an eye on the man to make sure they don't hurt him?
If you want to, that's perfectly fine. They look like they're not hurting him, but he is bound and hooded.
Okay, but it's not like where we're talking to this guy, they can execute him right there.
No, it doesn't look
Okay.
like that's their intention at all.
Okay.
The council received word early this morning. It's good that you're here. We can dispense with having you come to the tower as your services will no longer be needed. We feel that with this new evidence that has arrived, we have the right person. And
That's wonderful.
sadly, and this is because your charisma check was good, sadly it seems that Philam the mage was the perpetrator of all of this. He paid Abraham here, and you can hear Abraham saying something, but it sounds like he's also gagged underneath that hood. Has paid Abraham here and perhaps many others to perform the murder.
Are there other folks that you're going to be rounding up today?
We believe that Abraham here is the one who did the deed. We are to take him to the tower for questioning. Philam is on the run. The mage has not been seen since your council the other day.
Is he on Philam?
He is in fact on
Sorry,
the lamb.
had to make that joke. Sorry. To make that joke. Okay.
If I were to see you, and he bows again, I was instructed to say that your services will not be needed, but the council feels that they have made a bargain with you. You may keep the residence as was originally intended.
Well-
and thank you for your time. But this new evidence is quite overwhelming. And
Well, it's actually very interesting. We ran into Harper, who we believed to be one of the perpetrators as well, and we have learned some very interesting evidence that contradicts Phelim the mage as the perpetrator.
perhaps it would be best if you came to the tower then. How new is this evidence?
Just earlier today, he arrived at our residence at approximately 3 o'clock in the morning, before the rooster hath crowed.
I see. Oh, well, yes, please, you and your friends, if you would accompany us to the tower.
Okay.
You can state your evidence there, what
Okay.
you found.
I just, we're not necessarily sure that. Just so you know, with this new evidence, it's very possible that Phelim, or that Abraham is potentially innocent. We haven't completed our. We're just scratching the surface.
Oh,
my good
yes,
man.
yes. I understand that the evidence is quite damning, and he will be interrogated. Fear not. We have laws here. He will have a hearing and be tried. He will not be executed just on a whim.
Okay.
Abraham
Wonderful.
sounds again like he's trying to say something, and you just cannot make it out.
Hey,
This is
Greg. I can call you Greg, right? That's your name now, right? Are you more interested in law or justice? You know, which one of those two things are you interested in?
Well, which pays better?
Ah, right. Okay, fine. It's like that, is it? It's good to know. I mean, it's just interesting to note that the wizard who was hiring us essentially to find the murderers is now the murderer. I mean,
Well, this man is the murderer. The wizard simply
but
hired
you're
him
saying
to...
that the other guy, I mean, isn't he just a tool who's acting for the wizard?
Well, of course we want the wizard, but we must also execute the wielder of... Well, it wasn't a blade, I suppose. Whatever killed...
How was he killed?
We don't actually know.
So how do you know that he did it then?
Well, I'm just a soldier, sir. I'm not privy to that
Oh,
information.
okay, fine. Hey, Odette Oak? No, not Oak. That's your name. What's your character's name?
Thiber.
Ivor. Do we actually know how the guy died at all?
Yes.
Well,
Tybor.
no. You don't actually know how he died. You just know
Yeah,
that
he was
die.
murdered. I don't
Yeah,
think we're
he was
talking about-
murdered.
Wait, the Baron?
Yeah.
I have in my notes he was strangled.
Sorry, I pulled my headphones out.
He
Oh my
was
God.
strangled, yeah.
Yep.
I have in my notes he was strangled
Is
by
what they...
hands.
Mhm.
By hands.
There
Okay.
you go.
So we do know how he was killed.
What was interesting about it, though, is...
looking at this fine specimen of a bartender or whoever he is, does he look like he has strangling hands?
Oh, yeah, he's got big old meaty hands.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Big meaty claws.
So while the strangulation
Alright.
was the obvious thing, the thing that was interesting about it is that clerical spells like Speak with Dead and Raise Dead didn't work. So there was something else more at play.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I don't know what else we want to do here.
Follow them to the tower. Seems like, because I thought we were gonna break Abraham out of this, but it's not gonna happen. So let's go. I lied to buy us some time. I didn't really lie. I didn't lie. I just bent the truth.
Well,
a
now
little
you
bit.
can think about your words on the journey.
I'm thinking about my words on the journey.
All right, so let's flip back to the theater. You guys wanted to talk to Willem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's next on our list for sure.
Sure. Right. So he's basically mucking out the stables. You come in and he's got a pitchfork and he's whistling a tune as he's working. He's a young man, probably, he's in his teens, not quite full grown yet, still quite short.
I'd like to try to rattle him by walking up and putting my hand on his shoulder and stating sternly, "Willem, we're here to determine if you're..."
It's not my turn in the barrel today. Wait, what?
Maybe if you're not good, every day will be your turn in the barrel, because we're here to determine, Willem, if you're Defoe or not.
Get out.
You're very confusing, sir.
I've been told that before.
Uh, uh, I kind of move around from behind Grown Wolf and come into view to the man. And like me being, just a standard commoner who happens to have levels in fighter, I'm a pretty average looking individual, and I kind of come
Well,
up and I
except
play
you're
good
armed
cop
and
now.
armored. Don't
And
ever forget that. Most commoners are not armed and
yeah,
armored.
yeah, yeah, fair. And I come up and I kind of put my hand on his other shoulder and I play good cop and I go, don't worry. He's still riding the high from our earlier questioning. Can we talk to you for a moment about the loot in the theater troupe leader's room? You changed those strings, right?
Oh, yes, of course. It's part of my duties. I see to all the instruments
Right,
here.
right. And you do a wonderful job. I would say maybe try and tune it before they have to tune it. That might be a really good thing that gets you bonus points
Oh,
from now on.
I don't
But
have the ear for it. I can change the strings and I can tighten the drums, but my ear is not good enough to tune the instruments.
Well, how's your memory?
oh,
When
I'm
when
sure.
exactly did you replace these strings?
Oh, uh, yesterday. Yesterday.
Do you, do you know why? We were told that the strings were in perfect condition
Oh, just
before that.
general maintenance. He hadn't played it in a while. It's true, but I always restring the lutes on the same time, same day. Give me a wisdom check, both of you guys.
Okay.
Boop. Yes.
I fail.
Okay. Well,
I pass.
he's lying, Dion.
Okay.
He looks very nervous. He won't look you in the eyes when he's saying that.
I lean in close and I go, "Are you sure about that? Or would you like to reconsider what you just told me?"
Oh, who may I ask are you?
We're just passing through and needing some questions answered, and I honestly would greatly appreciate if I could have honesty, because we're not here to do any harm. We're here to help some people who've been hurt, and we're here to get justice for something horribly wrong that has happened.
You're not from the
You're not the
tower.
one at fault here,
Why should I help you with anything?
because you want to do the right thing, don't you?
No, I don't. Doing the right thing often gets your throat slit.
Oh,
As
stop.
soon as
We're
he
not
says
gonna
that, I
tell.
pull out a gold piece and I just start looking at it intently.
Now,
Thinking
getting
about it.
paid for information is something I'm well acquainted with.
Okay,
I had a
so if you like one gold piece, then tell us the truth. When you changed these strings, how many strings were missing?
One string.
Do you know how or why or where this loot was when the string was missing?
I might, if that gold piece has a twin.
It might if you continue being honest with me. And not for nothing, greed can overcome honesty very easily.
Oh, it can. It can. But for a gold piece, I'll tell you that yes, I changed those lute strings and there was a string missing when I did it. For another gold, I'll tell you why it was missing.
Yeah, another gold sounds fine. And I pull out a gold piece and hold it up.
Do you even have a gold piece, Dion?
Yeah, I think I do.
I
Wait.
painted some wooden
Yeah,
nipples
I
gold.
have 42 gold pieces.
I'm gonna put mine back in my pocket and let Dion pay.
But I hold the one up. I don't say how much I have, but I hold that one up. And I'm like, yeah,
Two
we can
coins
do.
on the barrel head here, and I'll tell you what you're looking for.
All right, I dropped the 2 coins since Grown Wolf is a cheapskate.
He's got to save
It's
that money for
Grown Wolf and
Pepto-Bismol.
Club.
You know, it's a thing.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, between my intestinal disdain and the fact that I'm Grown Wolf and Club, not Grown Wolf and like Gilded Staff. Yeah, you can handle it, Dion.
I can't wait until our medical insurance kicks in and you don't have to pay for over the counter anymore.
He takes one coin, taps it against the other one, kind of hefts it, and he says, yeah, "Your gold is strange, but it seems to be gold. Very well. Uh, your bargain is struck. Yes, there was a string missing because I took it. I took it because someone paid me to take it.
Where did you take it to?
The
Because I need you to be honest, or else this can go very badly. And I have a look of concern on my face, not intimidation.
Okay, so you're not intimidating him. Well, you all are not part of our city, so I see it's fine telling you, I suppose. Look, someone, one of the servants to those in the tower paid me for the string. They didn't say why, but they paid me to take a string.
And you gave it to the servant in the tower?
I did. Well, she came here.
What did she look like?
Oh, quite attractive.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you're have an active hormone
attractive
system,
for
but
a human, attractive for an elf, for a
Human,
dwarf, human. Okay.
what's her ASL?
14F Cali.
Right. He describes a girl still older than he is, but likely still in her teens, dressed in the fashion of a servant of the tower. In other words, good clothing, a page's outfit. Her hair was cut bobbed short. It was silvery blonde. She has hazel eyes.
Okay. Silvery blonde, hazel eyes, younger. And you just took her word that she worked at the tower? Have you seen her in the tower?
I've never been to the tower, sir, but her
Okay.
coin was all the proof I needed of anything.
All right.
I mean, I gave her my digits, but she never called.
Now,
my
is
pager
there
remains unpaged.
Is
And your
there,
pager is actually just a page that runs messages.
is there anything else that you can remember that you can tell us about this situation entirely? Because,
I asked no questions. Gold has its own provenance, and who am I to question where it comes from or for what reasons? A golden lute string is not that hard to replace.
especially if you do so every time, every day. I just want to double check. Nothing else that you can remember?
Oh, no, she paid me very well.
How much did she pay you?
He looks down at the coins. More than these.
How many more?
I suppose I did tell you. Fine. She paid me 5 gold for the string.
I will give you 5 gold on top of the 2 we just gave you. If you can tell us anything else that is useful. Because the string was found somewhere that you don't want to be connected to, and we need to figure out who we can apprehend instead of you. This is to save your ass, and I don't want to be the one to take you down.
I very much doubt Barlowman would care that I sold his string. I've committed no crime, but for the 5 gold more, I have a suspicion if that would earn me the coin.
If the fact that the string was found at a murder scene, make that suspicion a little more concrete?
No. Unfortunately, the suspicion I have is who the young page serves, but I can't prove it.
Could you explain after you tell us the suspicion why you have the suspicion?
Yes. She had a bit of jewelry high on her left collar. It was a symbol of a silver rose.
A symbol of a silver rose on jewelry on a collar.
A very expensive gift I think, but I have seen that symbol before, and is why I offer this suspicion for these other 5 gold, which I haven't seen yet.
I put 5 gold as he's saying this. My hand is already moving a stack of 5 gold pieces stacked up like little
Adventures.
casino tokens.
Adventures wrecking the local economy all over
exactly.
again.
During a
Bread's going to
panini?
cost a gold by tomorrow.
Turn up Ponderosa.
All right. So if you guys remember when you were in the tower, the woman who was kind of the speaker for the group she's not. So her name is Arness. She's not like the leader of the group. Like she's like first amongst equals. Like she usually has if they're divided, she has the overriding vote, but she's not like the true ruler. It's, they rule by committee. But I have seen that silver rose on display on a hairbrush that Arness once used when she was at Abraham's Inn to brush her hair. Maybe it was a token gift from her mistress, or perhaps she simply stole it. I don't know, but there is that link. Does that earn me the 5 gold?
It's sitting there for you to take.
He slides it off the barrelhead.
Don't spend it all in one place. You don't want people asking you questions where you found all that.
Of course.
People in this town seem very used to exactly what kind of subterfuge they're up to.
And I kind of just lean in close and whisper to him at this point before I walk away. I go, and not because we'll come after you, but for your safety. We only know each other because we've passed through the area. We never talked beyond that.
Never a word. Now, if you don't mind, I have got a mountain of crap to move.
I kind of tussle his hair a little bit because NPC is like just 19. She's only a couple years older than this kid.
That'll cost you another gold.
Yeah, right.
They pay extra for my hair in the brothel.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, we should go find our friends.
All right. Well, this would be a good time then as you head out, you will see the soldiers heading back to the tower, and your friends are kind of in tow. Not arrested, they're just kind of walking alongside, so you guys can regroup.
Yeah, I just kind of walk up like, oh, hey guys, what are we doing? Parade?
So I'm going to inform NPC and Grownwolf that so Abraham is being arrested. And because of apparently there is a mage running around. His name is Philam, and they believe that he is the center of everything. And then I whisper, I'm like, I may have told like a little fib about us believing it's somebody else just to spare Abraham's life for just a little bit, just to make sure that it's not him.
We figured out who it is. And I explain everything and the names of the people and all that to her.
And I'll explain that Abraham is actually potentially trying to help root out this corruption as well on top of it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I say that we have like a prime suspect now.
Before we give up that information, because now that I have the download, I'll say like, let's make sure that Arness isn't the one who's pinning this on Phelim and everybody else. So let's hold back. I've got a bullshit story that I'm going to lead with that is close enough to it's the truth, so I don't have to lie.
The guard soldier's like, I'm right here.
You're part of our team now. Welcome to the Adventures Group. 5 gold.
You're an NPC with us now. You'll be a player character soon. I'm about to die. No, so I say, as long as this plan isn't Abraham fisted of yours.
Oh my god.
So I assume that you're off to the side and talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whispering.
I just say we're gonna just regroup. I'm just gonna let them know what you told me, and so we have a conversation. And now we're caught up to speed, so let's go to the tower, see what's happening.
Right.
All right. Well, if that's all the colluding you do, they march him into the tower. They take him basically to the dungeons beneath, standing there to see that he's taken intact is Arness and Tellish. Tellish is one of the other members of the council. They're like, oh, good job. He's unharmed. He is of good mind. He can be questioned. Aye, lady. Yeah, the guard salutes. Like, good. Take him to the dungeons, then we'll see to him later. Oh, and she looks up at the rest of you, and I hope that the news has been relayed to you. We no longer need your services. We believe we have the murderer and the murderer's cat's paw here.
Ooh, you know.
Have the murderer.
Don't worry. We will continue with our obligations. You may keep the home and the deed.
Oh, don't worry. We're not worried about keeping it. I mean, we'll take it, but we're here to see truth and justice be sought out. Odette, if you will, she has some interesting information.
So, very interesting in that one who was colluding with Abraham, Harper, was shambling through the woods for the last 6 days, so unable to actually have been at the murder site, but a gemstone was missing.
Oh, yes. Harper is cleared. The one who brought us this new information, a woodcutter to the woods in the east, came forward. He did see Harper in the woods, and so could not be in Restonford. However, he overheard and saw both Phalam and Abraham colluding in the woods. Abraham was asking for his pay for committing the murder.
So this single witness both managed to find the two co-conspirators and clear the name of the third potential suspect, just like because he's cool, I guess.
He operates in the woodlands to the east. They were using these lands for their conspiring. He overheard and saw them as he was out hunting.
When did the woodcutter see Harper? God, sorry, go ahead.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. So there we go. We both asked
Not
it.
to harp on it, but
Harper had been in the woods, according to the woodcutter, for well over a week. He was concerned that he would starve. He didn't seem to be in his correct mind. He fed him. He left him porridge out and made sure that he didn't come to harm. He did say that he was attacked, and there's like a question to her face, by a bear. Some interaction with a bear. He saw to Harper's wounds after the fact.
So,
This is
we
untrue.
have a different story.
I dressed Harper's wounds myself.
Ah, you did. Yeah.
I did. He came to our home.
Additionally, Harper told us it was a merchant he met, not a woodcutter.
Well, Harper's mind is not as it once was, even 10 years ago.
It sounds like your information.
You know, I would say that Harper's... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, and I would say that Harper's mind is actually quite intact, more so than we think. He just himself exposed members of his own clergy who were abusing the townspeople.
Yeah, we
He
heard
himself
about
saved
that.
the church. I think he's a little more at mind than you would think.
Well, the evidence that was presented to us was quite believable. Tellish, would you inform them so that I can go and see to Abraham?
Presented it?
Say that again.
Who presented it? Exactly.
Well, the woodcutter. He came here
woodcutter
this
did.
morning.
And okay.
Apparently, news had
And
traveled enough.
How did the woodcutter find out there had been a murder and that this person was a suspect at all?
He came to town to do some bartering. Apparently, gossip has already started in town, and he realized that he knew something that could help. He came to the tower.
I didn't hear any gossip in town. Did any of you?
no, actually, several people who like should have known didn't, and we probably like spilled the beans, frankly.
Arness, I hope that you appreciate that we have been hired as an impartial group. Therefore, we will not take your information as a heavier weight than things that we have learned, and we have not been allowed to be dismissed.
Arnis stops and he turns around and says, "That's good points."
I tackle her.
We won't. Well, she stopped. Did you still want to tackle her?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Those are all good points, and we do want this to not be at a political event. Tellish, you have the information from the woodcutter. You know where he lives, yes? Then fine, continue as you were. Go and interview this woodcutter. Tellish here can guide you or tell you where to find him. And I agree, yes, you are right. We shouldn't take things at face value. This is why I need to interview Abraham as well.
So if
I would
this-
like to be present while we interview
We
Abraham.
interview Abraham, my dear woman.
She thinks about this. Fine. Would you like to speak to the woodcutter first, and we can delay this? Abraham likely could use a meal. We can feed him and wait till later.
No, I feel that we can talk to Abraham now, and since you sent a parade of guards to get Abraham, you can send the same parade of guards to get the woodcutter while we gain information. It'd be easier if people who know where he is go get him than people who are new to town. And we're the ones who have to question Abraham anyways. We can make sure he is fed and taken care of at the same time.
I'm afraid I can't do that. These are as you were witness when you arrived. We are harried by raiders. These are the only guards we have. I can't send them into the woods to do this. They need to be here in the
But
city.
you can send one or two.
you can send a page to send a message to get the guy to come here.
Now, I'm worth more than 4 of your guards. I'll take their position.
If you wish to go, yes. That would
No,
be...
you send your guards. I'll stay here and protect the city.
Well, she thinks about that. Says, well, all right. That'll work. The same guards that were holding Abraham. It's like, okay, find from Tellish where this woodcutter resides, bring him here. If you wish to accompany me now, let's give Abraham a bit of time to have a meal. No one will speak to him that time. Once he has, we can all speak to him together. Is that all right?
So
No.
we're investigating a murder that happened, right?
Yes.
You're going to give this
Yes.
guy a meal, which could potentially be poisoned. Yes?
Would you like
Is that
to?
what I'm hearing here?
Would you like to make the meal for him? You're welcome to do so.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
I
not sure
pers-
how this magic works.
I proceed to eat and regurgitate into his mouth
Oh.
like a
No.
Bird.
Bird
I
is the word.
do.
Abraham's
want-
trying to talk through the hood, and she motions
Let's
to the
hear what
guard.
Abraham has
Yeah,
to say.
Well,
removes the
Abraham had
hood.
already gone down to the dungeons.
It's not
No, they
Abraham.
stopped. No, she stopped. them
All
from
right,
going.
okay, my mistake.
So they remove his gag and everything, and Abraham says, "I need no meal. If you have questions for me, question me now."
Sure. I do. Anas? Is it Anas? I'm sorry.
Ornes.
Ornas. One more thing that we will need for our investigation. How many personal servants do you have under your employ?
Oh, the castle has many servants. None of them are personal to each of us. They service the council as a whole.
I need one that might have been gifted a piece of jewelry by you.
She thinks about it for a minute.
Like on the collar with a silver rose? Or silver flower?
Bethany, yes. She often runs errands for me.
Could we also question her, please? We have some questionable evidence that we need to dismiss. It's just merely formalities. We just have to get it out of the way.
Tellish kind of stops in and says, "I'm afraid Bethany is on a errand for me this morning. Once we got word of the news, Phelim has to be found." The woodcutter's words were very persuasive. I sent her to Restonford, as likely that's where the villain has gone.
I take-
Can we not
I take-
prejudice things by calling him a villain before he's actually been, convicted or in any
And-
way had evidence brought against him?
I would like
We
to
still
take,
need to speak to him.
I'd like to take
Phelim
Arness
resides in
aside.
Restonford. It seemed the logical thing.
I want to take Arness aside
Mhm.
for a moment and say, "Come here," and I would be like, "I need you to tell me who you are fucking right now, because you got a gift from, and I know you are having an affair with someone, I need you to tell me who. Yeah, I need you to be straight with me. This is potentially part of the investigation. I am willing to use charisma or whatever.
Yeah,
to...
give me a charisma check. Give me a charisma check.
Oh no, I fail it. I fail
That
it.
is rather forward. No.
I say, why can't we all be friends? And I cast friends as I hear you question her with this.
You're casting on her?
Is that a super bad idea?
I'm just asking, is that what you're doing?
Go with God. Do it.
I mean, we kind of play it loose. That's what I'm doing.
All right,
I kind of do a flourish.
Okay, so how many segments does friends take to cast?
Let me see. I don't have that in the spell description that I have written here. Let me open my book.
Oh my God, I love that we're doing this. Are there any animals around?
Just you. You are the animals in this room.
I like how I inadvertently knew I was going to roll really poorly on my charisma, and so I came at it in the least charismatic way possible.
Yeah. And having seen that, I'm like, why can't we all just get along? Do magic.
Yeah. Yeah, because you realize that magic is not something that is like you have to say things, move your hands. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
All right. So friends, it takes one segment. It's actually fast. Okay, so
Cool, baby. Here we
roll
go.
a d6. Just
Okay.
you.
6.
3. Okay. Well, you go. You get your spell off. So friends, let's see here.
My charisma
Increases your charisma.
Yeah.
They have a saving throw.
Are we in combat?
Oh, you're about to be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cyborg, get on it.
So she needs to make a save. Oh, she made the save anyway. All right. So here's what happens. You start casting. Tellish takes a step back. I'm giving these guys basically a round before you guys can jump in because this was all very quick. Tellish steps back, yells, "He's casting," and hurls a dagger at him.
He had that dagger ready. He's so evil.
What's your AC? That's going to be a 14.
It's Tellish.
My AC is 9.
Tellish is fucking hard-ass.
All right. Make me a save versus poison.
Okay.
And just take a point of damage as it just kind of grazes the skin on your cheek, but make me a save versus poison.
Yep, I am looking for my saves again. Hang on just a second. It's been a little bit since I used this sheet. Where are the saves? I'm blind. Oh, there they are. Okay. Rolling. I roll under.
Yeah, that's a fail. You need to roll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So roll a d10 for me.
Okay.
8. You are paralyzed for 8 rounds.
Okay.
As the poison interacts with your blood, causes you to basically all your joints lock up. You can still see and hear, but you cannot move. All right. So that happened. Tellish is calling for the guards to apprehend all of you. Yes, he's trying to influence a member of the council. Seize them! Unless you are letting them do that, it's going to be initiative for the group now. Up to you, though.
Letting him do what? How can we stop him? Can we murder him?
Well, that's the question.
I'm gonna cast.
He already called the guards, though.
I yell for everybody to
So
stand
the point
down
is,
and
do we get
as I
arrested by the
say.
guards?
Oh,
or do we
okay.
run?
Whoa. Thybor.
All right, yeah. So let's roll initiative then, because Thybor is
God.
trying to say something too. So, Thybor, why don't you roll a d6 for your side, and let's see who gets initiative, and then you can tell your side what you want them to do potentially before they grab you. You give them a 3, they give you a 2.
Yes!
So you're first. So Thybor, what do you say?
I'm staring at their leader and I yell for everybody to stand down and do as I say, and I'm exerting my will upon them. with the crown.
You're
Oh
gonna-
shit.
Oh,
All right,
the
so-
crown.
The crown.
Who are you
Yeah.
telling to stand down? The guards and
I'm
the
saying for
council?
everybody,
For
but I'm trying to
everybody.
command their leader.
Woo. Okay, give me a charisma check.
Oh my god, I love it so much. What does this crown give you in terms of like a buff?
Here we go. I got to get a 5 or lower. Oh, so
Oh,
close.
so close.
All right. Yeah, you've got an extreme headache again as the crown kind of activates and vibrates on your head. Some of the guards actually, for a moment, they were going for their weapons and they just kind of stop. So you actually, the weaker willed people. Actually, if any of you have a wisdom that's 9 or less, this includes you. Anybody?
Not me.
No. Okay,
Nope.
so
No.
some of the guards
No.
actually do pause. None of the council does, and none of your side does. So it's your action. What do the rest of you want to do?
I'm gonna cast
You're going to cast. Okay, what are you casting?
casting charm person.
All right. How many segments does it take?
It's 4 segments.
Okay, so you start. You're not going to
Okay.
finish before they go because they go in
Okay.
the next segment.
Okay.
Okay, what is everyone else doing?
I mumble on the floor, paralyzed. I've tasted worse.
At least you're not crapping liquid.
That's right.
That's our bar. Okay, that's our bar.
I mean, I when you say that, I go, "That's my bar."
that's the bar. Oh, is
I,
anyone else doing anything?
Yeah. Tristan, you want us to try anything first before I do this?
I was going to say I stand down, but
Okay.
that's because I choose
Okay.
to stand
Yes.
down, not
Perfect.
because I'm exerted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pull a weapon or a shield out. I'm gonna keep my hands up and be like, we have evidence that puts these 2 council members as suspects. We are not here to cause harm. Let's just
I
talk
mumble,
this out.
independent third parties.
Which 2 council members are you pointing? There's only 2 here now. So it's Tristan and Ars.
Yeah, these.
So you're basically
Yeah,
saying
I'm
these
pointing at
2 are
both of them.
suspects.
To the guards, right?
Yeah, like these 2 are. Yeah, and I'm like, they are suspects. We do not mean harm. We are not trying to
Okay.
do anything. We need to. They had just attacked us. We didn't do any
Stop
harm.
accusing them.
You
Like-
Technically, we could say
absolutely
that.
did do some things. One of your characters
But I mean, they
casted.
didn't see it. They
Um,
didn't see it.
Give
Well,
me a charisma
friends is not
No,
harmful. I
no,
want to say
no.
that
This so
friends is
much.
not.
I
check. You have
love
no
this so
idea what
much.
he tried to cast. Give me a charisma check.
Oh no.
Does that fail? Yeah, no one's
Nope.
listening to you.
But I'm like
But you are
hands up
standing
like
down,
this
right,
the entire
yeah.
time though. I'm
Good
like like we just want to talk.
Okay. Which means their turn then, which your spell hasn't gone off, 4 segments, so they go next. You're sitting there making gestures with your hands and obviously casting a spell. So what I'm going to do here is Oak. This is how many guards that you are actually able to affect because they had low wisdom. Just 1.
Yay.
Hey, but it's still 1 guard less.
Agreed. And it
Alright.
fits with my lack of being able to use this.
All right, so she is going to yell to the guards to basically to hold you down, Odette, so that you can't finish casting. All right, well, that's gonna do it. So with that, 2 guards grab your arms, which interrupts your spell casting and basically holds your arms out so you cannot complete your spell.
They don't know what I was casting though, right?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, but you were casting. It was obvious.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They also don't know who I was casting it toward.
Uh-huh. And that's their turn. The guy who threw the dagger is he's actually taken another step back so that he's not
Tellish.
Tellish has taken another step back so that he's not in the immediate harm's way of anybody. Does pull out another dagger but doesn't throw it yet.
What is this guy made of daggers?
All right, so if you want to continue with initiative, you can roll again, or you can stand down. Your guy's choice. I'm allowing table talk because you can quickly say something between your characters.
We need the rest of the council.
Yeah, I still think we just need to push the investigation and try and find a way to talk out of like why we were casting spells.
So do I
But
hear that you're standing down? Oak, are you standing down?
Yeah, I'm looking at Odette and then my hands on my hilt. I'm just looking. If you give me like any kind of nod, I'm going to war.
I kind of look at what's his face, the one with the knife, and I'm like, "Let's talk." Like,
Okay, so you're standing down is what I'm hearing?
No,
mm,
Odette, what are you? What kind of look do you give me?
I give you like the like we're let's just talk our way out of this one.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll relax my grip for
We'll have
my hilt and hold my hands
time
up,
to stab them
or like
later.
in front of me, like
Tellish
Stab them.
sheathes his dagger then and says, "Yes, let us be more civil. Cast again in our presence, we'll have you executed."
Can I take a look at the dagger that is sticking out of Groanwolf?
It's sticking in the wall just past him. Sure, you can take a look at it.
Yeah, I want to take a look. Do I notice any silver roses on it?
No, nothing distinctive at all about it other than it's dull. It's not very shiny. It seems to be well balanced as it quivers in the wall there, made for throwing, but nothing distinctive about it.
Okay. Do we see any silver roses on either of them?
If you really try and look for it, Arness has a silver rose binding up her hair in the back.
This motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, well, she's already said that she gave a gift to that page.
yeah,
she
I
already,
thought that.
yeah, she
So
already said she did.
so I actually sorry I might have gotten that wrong. What I thought what happened was Arnesh received a gift of a hairbrush from her lover, and she gave or like the Bethany just had a silver rose pin.
Oh no. So Bethany is not her personal servant, but she
Right.
is a servant to the tower. She was gifted, so Arness gifted her
Okay.
that piece of jewelry that you were asking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your friend will recover momentarily. It's a simple paralytic. We have pufferfish in the oceans that secrete it. It's very natural. Guards, help him up.
And do you regularly carry around knives with poisons on them?
I would rather not kill if I don't have to. Yes, as I said, the poison is harmless.
Obviously not.
Well, I suppose if my intention was to slit his throat, it would allow me to do so. But in this case, it allows me to not
Or
kill
strangle
your
someone.
companion.
And I don't see any silver roses on Tellish.
No. He's actually very, his dress is, while it's high quality, it's very simple. It's very plain. He favors blacks and silvers, but there's no ornamentation at all.
Okay.
Now, may we be civil about this? I understand you obviously suspect us of some wrongdoing. We are trying to do this in the most politically innocent way as possible, so we do not create open warfare. What
Alright,
can we do here?
let us
This is
talk to
Tellish speaking.
Abraham. Yeah, let us talk to Abraham. You get the woodcutter, and hopefully maybe get a message out to Bethany that we need to question her as well.
I'm sure Bethany is well on her way to Restonford. I can send another page asking her to return. Will that do?
Sure.
Who sent her to Restonford?
I did. This is Tellish.
And the woodcutter, you stated, just for the record, that he came in of his own accord with this information?
He did. He was in the
Yeah.
markets today. He overheard some rumors, and he remembered seeing what he saw and brought us this information this morning.
We may wish to send for the head of the church as well, then, so that he can cross-reference this story between the woodcutter and my own involving his wounds.
If he is able, that is fine. I seem to be lacking more pages. You guard, release Abraham. Abraham, on your words, will you agree to be a good hostage for the time being? He just nods.
Love him.
Release him. Cuts his bonds. You go find the Hierophant, bring him here. Be polite. His mind wanders. You might have to entice him. He likes treats. Say that we are having a banquet here, if you must.
He likes to really talk about the whole spiel of the goddess too. So if you tell him that people in the tower want to hear about the goddess, I'm sure he'll come running.
The guard rolls his eyes. Oh gosh, not again.
I turn to Arness and I ask where I can purchase a silver rose pen for myself.
Oh well, I get them here in town. There is an artisan that creates them. I have many fine artifacts from her. I've got a brush, a comb. I even have a bit of
pocket
armor
watch.
that has it as an embellishment.
What's the name of the artisan?
This is where the GM has to look it up real quick.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought we had a couple leads that were like, we need to follow up on textile makers But we figured out who the button and the
Wasn't
room
the old
was.
man under the sway of some sort of spell also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah,
Did
his
we
mind's
fix that?
out.
I don't remember.
No, okay, so what was intended there was he is under a very powerful spell, but it was likely from his goddess. She did
Okay.
something to him that
He
he's
needs
having to atone.
accomplish.
Yeah.
He needs to accomplish a task.
Oh, yeah, he's under a
before to go
gauge.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's under a gauge.
It's the tailor's shop. Ollie, the merchant there, runs the shop, and it is his wife that is a silver or a white smith, works with silver and makes these things.
Huh. Okay.
Juniper.
Does she also make them for men?
Well, anyone who would buy them, I suppose. It's she pulls the clasp off the back of her hair and hands it to you. It's not particularly feminine. I suppose a man would wear it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, this is the first time you've actually seen the piece. So it's a silver rose. It has 2 thorns on the stem. The rose is in bloom, and it looks like it's really well made. The silver looks particularly fine.
Okay. Well, this is very nice. Thank you for letting me know.
Excellent. Her prices are quite reasonable as well.
Someone's going to murder us. It's going to be Juniper.
Can I just ask about magic in this setting quickly?
Sure. Yep.
Are there no sort of like message spells that people can send?
There are
or
spells
long
that do
distance
that.
communication?
Yeah, there are spells that do that. But your group also knows that other than Phalam, there are no magic users as part of the council. No one else here uses magic.
And there's no lower magic users that they hire to send messages to
In
people?
this town, no.
Jeez.
Magic is not that prevalent.
All that common.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
okay.
not common.
That is a shame.
As a matter of fact, Phalam he basically does magic for both towns. He bounces back and forth because neither town has their own mage.
Okay.
He's a fee lancer.
Yes, he is. You bastard. All right, so things have calmed down. Oak, if Thyber is willing to act as backup muscle in case something happens, she will send soldiers out to go and collect the woodcutter. In the meantime,
Not a problem.
they will take Ibrahim. All right, so they've released his bond. So instead of taking him to a cell, they just take him to they take him to the kitchen. It's like, let's all go to the kitchen. She dismisses the staff and says, okay, if you would like to speak to him alone, that is fine, but I do have questions of my own.
No, you can stay and get your questions out of the way while we're here. That's fine.
Okay. The other council member basically goes to see that the guards are going to go. He has to give instructions where to find the woodcutter's house. Well, would you like to go first then?
No. I had stated you can get your questions out of the way first while we listen.
Okay.
We'd like to stay here as the neutral party.
Okay. So, well, she puts him to the question of what she's already filled you in with, that he was overheard and overseen. He was seen with Philum in the eastern woods, asking for payment. Um, it was implied that he had killed someone for the mage. Abraham looks a little shocked. Not entirely, because he just heard you guys talking about this. He's like, well, yes, I did speak to him in the woods, but it wasn't Monday. It was some time ago. Yes, I did perform a service for the mage. I I created a drought to rid his cellars of rats. That was the killing that I did for him. It's a common ale that I make for my own establishments to keep the rodents from getting into everyone's rooms. It is a tincture I make from herbs in the forest and some of my own ale. They like the smell of the ale. They drink the poison. They die. It's a very simple thing. Phelim is not easy to find. I happened to see him on the road, and we had our conversation in the forest. All right, everybody can give me wisdom checks.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, if you made your wisdom check equal to or less than your wisdom, he's not lying. You do feel like he's holding something back for those of you that made high successes. Let's see how she does.
My
How
wisdom's a
close is
16.
high?
Anything over a 10 that's still under.
Oh yeah, that's me too.
Me too.
Okay.
And if you roll your exact, it's like amazing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
a crit success.
Okay.
Okay. She looks to the rest of you and says, well, that seems reasonable. I will ask to see this poison of yours that you say that you make in abundance as proof. He nods. It's like, easily done. Easily done.
I'd probably interrupt
Mm-hmm.
and say, what else do you use that drought for?
Okay. Give me a charisma check.
Okay. I hope it's another 19. Oh, it's a 3. Woo!
So he looks up at her and says, I would rather not confess to another possible crime that has no bearing on this murder.
So poaching?
He looks to Arness and she's like, have you murdered anyone? He says, no, I have not. Then I will forgive any indiscretion short of murder.
Clean slate, Abraham, go for it.
He says, fine. Occasionally we have those that become too rowdy in our bar, those that I cannot afford to stop serving. Merchants, businessmen from the other cities, people that I cannot afford to kick out of my establishment. The poison, while it is lethal to rodents, only is an irritant to humans. It causes severe stomach problems.
Oh, I know somebody who would love to taste test that.
Perk
As
up
grown
immediately.
Yeah.
It's not
use that
detectable
for
in my
proof.
ale. It simply makes the ale sweeter. They drink it. Within an hour, they leave my establishment. It's very simple. Yes, I poison some folks that come into my establishment.
And then he also offers, I also use it to cheat on my taxes.
Go ahead.
I look to Arness and ask, do you have any other questions for him at this time?
Yes. Regarding your regalia, and she brings out the red button that was found. My guards had searched your rooms and had found a vest that's missing this very button. What say you to that? say nothing to that. I was not aware that I was missing a button. If you guys want to roll, go ahead.
Wisdom.
Actually, let's just keep the same. You've got a feel for him now. So if you made it before, use the same roll. He's not lying. He doesn't know. He doesn't seem to know. It's like, it may very well be my button, but I was not aware that I was missing it.
He's telling the truth.
Who else might have access to your wardrobe?
Well, anyone at the inn could get into my rooms. I have it barred when I'm using it. Otherwise, the lock can be picked. There are several that come to my establishment that have that skill.
Know where the item was found in your room that was missing the button? And how do you know where it was, lady?
The guards searched his wardrobe, found the vest that was missing the button. Easy as that.
Was it like the one at the very top, or the bottom, or in the middle, or?
Well,
Was it like somebody could have come in there and gone, oh?
Well, she looks around and says, well, I can't ask the guards now, as they have all been sent on missions.
How did you know? You found out this information this morning?
No, so
they went there, they got the guy, they
Richard,
came back.
You don't know about this, but originally when this was found, there were 3 things found near or on the Duke's body. One of them was a red button. One of them was a golden string from a lute. And one of them was a gem off the eye of the cleric's talisman. Yep. So she has gotten the button that was in the crime scene.
Right.
Abraham, has anybody ever borrowed your clothes?
Borrowed them. Abraham's a fairly large guy, by the way. No, not that I am aware of.
Whisper to Odette, don't forget that there was that third party that did the whole string thing. Like, it's totally possible.
But what I was getting at was that how does she know that it was missing a button? I mean, they have the button, so presumably she sent the guards out to go and get the person.
Yep, because Abraham
came back with the person.
Because Abraham was one of the 3 that the guards in Restonford
So when
said
did she send the people to search the room to find the missing button?
Oh, just a little bit ago. Like your party interrupted them taking him and searching the room.
Right. But they never told her anything.
Oh, no.
Right?
The
Should
guards
they have done that in the background sort of thing? That
well, no, those guards came first, and then they apprehended Abraham, who was,
so there have been 2 sets of guards sent out to go and talk to that. Okay, I'm just checking that she's not mysteriously manufacturing evidence from somewhere where she knew it was going to be there. Right.
Oh, like
well, no, she did know it was going to be there because Abraham's known to wear these red vests. It was one of the distinguishing features that was noted.
Right, but if nobody had come back and told her it's missing, then it would have been her saying, I know it's missing. All
right. Ines, if you have no further questions, we'd like to speak with Abraham alone.
She will nod. She'll actually go pour herself some wine from the kitchen and leaves.
Right. All right. Does anybody want to ask him anything now that she's gone? I kind of say that aloud to like even hint at Abraham, like, all right, she's gone now. Like,
I'd like to start by saying, well, Abraham, we talked to I forget the name, Barrelmaro.
Baltar?
Ballroom Inn, yeah.
Ballroom Dance. We talked to Ballroom Dance. He was quite swishy. I loved him. He was a fabulous person. And I'm wondering, though, he mentioned that you also were investigating these murders, had some suspicions. Do you think that's possibly why you were targeted here? I'm still of the mind that you had nothing to do with this.
We were not investigating any murders. So that's not what Barlowman said. He said he was investigating that there was an Assassin's Guild operating out of Garotten. Not that they were investigating the murder.
No, that's kind of what I was getting at, though. Like, murderers is kind of what
Okay, murderers.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like, yes, it's been a year-long endeavor. We've yet to root out a single member. I think that perhaps we were mistaken. By this time, we should have found something.
Okay, so same as the other dude, no leads, essentially, on their end. Okay.
I have some suspicions, though. It seems like you're trying to help me here. There are 3 particular customers that are in the inn, and it may simply be that they are smugglers or thieves in some other stripe, though I have not been able to prove it, but they seem the most suspicious of those that stay at the inn. They have rooms there that they use for meetings quite frequently.
And those customers are.
Okay. So if you, well, it's not like your character can write it down, but
Right.
give me a second. Let me get to it. So I don't have one of those nice tablets of yours. I'm looking to actual print.
What are you, a Luddite? Come on, no.
Yeah, apparently so.
This tablet has been great.
All right, you ready? For
I'm
those of you
prepared.
keeping notes.
Yep.
The 3 people that he suspects are Philmar, Philmar, Oscar, and Glammy, Glami.
He's got a glandular problem. That's why I call him that.
Glanny.
Glammy.
Now,
So at minimum, I believe they are smugglers or thieves of some stripe. Whether or not they are assassins, I can't prove any of that.
now, what about this Ines lady?
Ines?
Is she someone that would seek to undo you and your friends?
He thinks about that for a minute. The current council, has been fairly good for Garotten. There's been less strife between us and other surrounding towns. Things have been fairly peaceful here. Most politicians always looking to gain more power. I'm sure they will find some way with the Duke's death to achieve more of that. Perhaps more favorable trade deals, perhaps even installing a new Duke of their own desire in Restonford. It's possible. I wouldn't put it past them. But all in all, they've been fairly good rulers.
I worry that our Ness is trying to frame you and your friends.
Well, someone is, certainly. I mean, the button
you-
is likely mine. Those are custom tailored.
The loot string belonged to your friend, and the red ruby belonged to the cleric, or druid, or clergyman.
And you're
So,
all connected. Sorry, go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Do you keep any books about when these people would be at your place to correlate whether or not they were there before or after prominent murders?
No, there's no reason to. I mean, they have rooms there that they pay for seasonally, so they're often found at my inn this time of year. I don't
Gotcha.
keep records of such things. I can likely tell you or ask my staff if they were there on a particular day, if it wasn't too far in the past.
Mm-hmm. Are there any prominent murders that led you to believe, hey, these people could be part of this thing we're investigating around the times they were there?
No, the 3 of us all had loved ones, significant others, or just friends that were murdered by a group of assassins operating in the area. We've been trying to find them since. You get the idea also, just from his size and his bearing. This guy's an old adventurer, right? Like, he's retired. He put all of his money into this inn.
He's ruined some economies.
Yeah, he's ruined some economies.
Yeah.
And now he's just indisposed.
So, you and Balthambag, the ballroom dancer, and Harper are all connected by the fisherman and the baker who were both murdered.
The fisherman and baker.
Yes, the people who lived in Hell House.
Oh, no. We barely knew them.
You barely knew them?
Yes, I mean, they were townsfolk that we would have in our establishment now and then, but we didn't know them well. They were certainly not part of our... And he thinks about it for a minute. Oh. Oh. The husband approached, well, one of the other two, I can't remember which one, but he had some information that he was willing to sell. It never came of anything. They died shortly after.
What was the information?
We don't know. They never made the meeting.
Ooh. Who else knew about this meeting?
Just the three of us, as far as I know. I mean, who knows who he spoke to. But he didn't make the meeting. We arranged for him to come to the end to speak to us. He didn't make the meeting. A few days later, they were dead. Some horrible plague, I hear.
Am I already off guarding, or am I here with?
No, you're still here. You're just like basically on call in case pillagers come again.
They were murdered.
Murdered. That's not what. It's not what the town was told.
Well, if it's wanting to cover something up, would you tell the truth?
Well, why would the clergy lie? They're the ones that performed the last rites, buried the bodies, said there was some sort of plague involved.
Why is the best question, and what we can tell you is that it really looks as though they were not above board. That's for sure. We didn't get a why, did we?
Why they were murdered? We haven't figured that out yet.
No. I mean, a why the clergy was covering it up, because we thought
they stole, like, there were papers that were out of character. I'm saying this. There were papers that were stolen from the establishment, but like anything of like value wasn't really cleaned until the church came in, and then they took like silverware and all of that. So I guess the question is, like, back then when that happened, who was in charge of the church? Was
Harper. The guy
Harper
that
was
The
ran
the
out
girl
of town.
also
actual
said
the one
they
in
made it look like
church?
raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Harper was still like the acting like head honcho, or was it under the secondary guy then?
No, well, Harper is the secondary guy. He's the guy that got ran off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought that
he
was
was the
Harmon.
one in charge.
Harmon.
I thought it was Harmon. Yeah.
Carmen is the evil version. Harper is the
Oh, yeah,
scatterbrain.
you're
one.
right. Sorry. Yep.
Okay.
Harper is the
So-
main guy.
So the bad guy was in charge, quote unquote, at the time.
Right.
So that just explains why they raided the valuables, but then the information was a different group altogether.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in the church would probably just didn't want to be involved.
The
and-
church's motivation may have just been free stuff, honestly, as
Yeah.
crappy as
Yeah,
Harmon
because
is.
who would claim the gold
Yeah.
and antiques if they were told that it's probably got disease on it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can I retroactively do a check to see if I believe that Abraham is telling me the truth, that he did not know the fisherman and the baker?
Oh, no, I'm going to use the same rules that you had earlier, so you believe him.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't think he's lying.
I must have written it down wrong because I thought that Thistle told us that he was friends with the man that runs the inn with the long beard and the man who talks in big words, which would have been all three of them together.
Yep.
Okay.
But, friends... what does that mean?
What she means.
Yeah.
If
No,
she
it
just
also
saw
could
them
be-
talking once,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It also could be maybe they don't want to admit that they know she's there either. Unless they know we know, but also we shouldn't expose her.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to.
So. Right.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything about who, just that we've heard different.
Well, it
Are
seems
they-
like the. Good.
I was going to ask if there were other people who have wanted to sell Abraham information and have died.
and have died, no. Plenty of people have over the years sold them information, but it's also
Okay.
always led nowhere.
Okay.
I
Collects
want to
the
ask.
information out of you three.
Say that again, Richard.
Who collects the information out of you three? Does it always go to the same person?
Oh no, we share it whenever we find it.
Right. So if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I've got information to sell you," it could be any one of the three of you who gets it.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So it's not as if one of the three of you is in on it and doing it,
No, unlikely.
diverting information away so that you don't find anything or whatever. Okay.
We were together as a party, much as yourselves, long ago. We each have a reason to want this guild found if they can be found.
All right.
Suspecting that some of the people that sold them information were giving them red herrings, I'd like to ask who some of the people were and if any of them were people in the council.
No, they've never been actually offered any information from anyone that's been from the tower from here. They merchants usually have tidbits of information about like a murder or a death that might have happened that they might have a little bit more information on. Just stuff like that. They've never been able to pin down a particular person or even a place. All the information they had led them to Garrotten, and that's why they settled here. But since they've been here, they've just been found nothing. It's just a dead end.
When was the last time Ines stayed at the inn?
Arness, she never stays at the inn.
Yeah.
And she visits often for food and ale, but she never stays.
When was the last time she was there physically?
Maybe a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. Okay. What about that servant girl, Bethany, of hers? Are you familiar with her?
No.
When was the last time she was in your? No.
No, I don't know her.
Describe her. Okay.
Actually, hold on. Let me be fair about this.
He's married to her.
No.
She's my daughter.
My
daughter wife.
No teenager of that description has come into the inn while I've worked there that I'm aware of. So you've been talking to him. Let's say this whole thing has taken about an hour.
Time.
And after a bit, you hear a knock on the door. And Dagger Man sticks his head in and says, Telesh is like, the guard should have been back by now. The woodcutter doesn't live that far outside of the village.
Telesh, you're wonderful with daggers. Come with us. Look at Abraham. He's gigantic. Come with us.
Come on, knock on our door. We're adventuring with you.
Very well. Someone would need to know where the woodcutter lives. I can lead you there. I'm concerned.
We could also ask you some questions while we go along the way, too. It'd be good to hear your side of recent
It's like, for God's sakes, fine. Just don't try and hurt me.
Sure.
He just stabbed himself in the neck with a poison dagger. Done.
It's like, I can't speak. He looks at Thiber. You, however, have pledged to guard the town.
That I have.
Who cares about pledges?
Will you or the rest of you be sufficient then?
Can we take Abraham instead? Abraham's big and beefy, and he'll promise to come back. Especially since the woodcutter is the one who threw him under the bus, so he probably.
Let me consult with Arness. Have you proven his guilt or innocent, one way or the other?
I believe we've mostly proven his innocence more than anything.
Very well. I tire of this. Abraham, swear. Never mind. Gather your stuff. Let's go.
Abraham, you don't have to swear a fucking thing. Just get out of here.
I immediately start talking to Abraham about this draft that he makes.
So exactly how much intestinal...
Yeah. Does it make you more regular?
Nice. All right. Well, okay. Do you agree to stay then, Thiber, or do you just...
No, I'm going to go with.
You
I'm
are
not a
going to go
lawful
with.
Character.
All right.
Love it.
He's like, fine, very well. The odds are of us having an attack now. What are the odds? He looks...
Looks directly at camera, breaks fourth wall.
I'll go back and tell our crew to watch things as well.
Sure.
And if shit goes south, protect our stuff.
The guards went on horseback. You are all familiar with horse riding, I take it.
Yeah.
I'm only familiar with lizard riding.
I've ridden a lizard.
I've seen a horse.
I had a pony before we went to the Underdark.
my god, none of us ride horses.
Right. Try not to fall and get
I
yourselves
had a
killed.
donkey when we started, or a mule.
I am a donkey.
So yeah, Tristan is
Donkey.
he's pretty much just exasperated at this point. It's fine. Just come along. Put saddles on the nags, then they'll ride them fine. All right, he heads off. By this time, it's like mid-afternoon. He's heading east on the map, out past the castle. There is a trail. It's not really like a well-worn trail. Like wagons occasionally, you can see wagon treads in it, but it's not bricked. It's not a proper road, so there's a fair amount of foliage. Is anyone taking the lead? He's up front because he has to show you where to go, but is anyone else up there with him?
Yeah, I'll go with.
I'll
Fiber?
be up near the front too, shield ready and
Dion.
stuff.
Okay, good enough. Let's say that's plenty of you in the front then. Why don't all of you guys give me a D6 roll?
What
And
roll?
I'll roll for him as well. A D6.
A 6.
Each of us or just one of us?
Each of you. Okay.
Nice.
Good enough. You ride into a clearing. You see there is a wood log house, single story. It's got a chimney that's got a little bit of smoke coming out of it. Not a lot, though. Maybe a banked fire. Arrayed around in front of the house, however, are the armored guards. Their armor has been shattered. You see long, like thick, like almost tree trunk sized spears impaling their bodies, just laying around the outside of the cabin.
What the hell?
Do we see signs of beings large enough to hurl those things, or does it seem more like magical in nature for
All
things
right.
that large?
Yeah,
So-
would I have an idea what could use this?
So
Over-
what the D6 roll was for is just if you saw anything just off the bat, and you didn't. And these are the three of you that are up front, four including the guys bringing you to the place. Are the rest of you, after seeing this, are you spreading out to examine things? Like, how are you? What are you doing?
My training says hide in shadows at this point. Expect attack. So
Slide off your
Just
horse
fine.
and hide in its shadow.
exactly.
The
Shadow
horse's
of the
name is
horse.
Shadow. I cut its stomach open and I jump inside.
Dear God.
Fuck.
The guard should have horses as well.
Is the house disturbed? Is the door open?
You don't know. Are you getting off your horse or going closer to take a look? You can't tell from where you
we
are.
just see the.
You're breaking out of a
Where are
clearing.
the bodies?
Yeah, they're
I
arrayed
see.
out in front of the house, like fairly close to it.
Okay.
Where does it?
Um.
These spears, since
go
they're
ahead.
large enough for us to see them, where does it look like they came from? Like, does it look like they were, like, is the sharp end poking out the top, or is it poking down through?
So you come across the body 100 feet away. So the first body is 100 feet from you, just to kind of set it up for you.
Okay.
The spears actually look like they came from above.
And as far as the angle goes, does it look like it angled, like, is it angled like it came from the house, or it came from where we're coming from?
Can't tell. You,
Okay.
you can get closer, maybe you can tell, but from where you are, can't tell.
Fuck it, I'll get closer.
Yeah, my
I get off
intellectual
my horse.
curiosity is the same. I'm gonna go look.
I'm gonna keep an eye out and look around as we approach. I'm gonna. Yeah.
I also say fuck it.
All right, so everybody
Yeah.
gets off their horses.
Not everybody.
It
Don't
No?
let us speak for everyone.
sounds like the curious one and the one that's like smart but not.
Well, I
wise.
haven't heard from Fiber. What Oak? What are you doing?
Yeah, I figure there's I want to get up and look at the body. One, to see if I can tell how fresh the blood is,
Okay.
Mm,
and get just like, hey, if this is fresh, then there's something nearby.
Okay. So Tristan hops off the horse and maybe goes and takes cover in the woods.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
look around for anybody trying to ambush us from
Okay.
the.
Odette is going to go check out a body. So is
yes, I
Thiber.
am.
Dion NPC is you're going around, like you're not going directly to where the house and the bodies are, right? You said you were just kind of going
Yeah, I'm gonna meander like the long way around in a sense and just kind of get a feel and scope out the area like
Okay.
as I make my way towards the house.
All
I'm
right.
heading in towards the
So
bodies as well.
we will go ahead and end it there tonight then as our cliffhanger.
Aw.
All the soldiers are dead, and not only do they have like fence post sized spears going through their armor, some of them look like their armor's been crushed. Yeah, so it does give you the idea that something large accosted them here. So yeah, we're 2 hours in, and we'll end it there for the night. So let's just go in reverse. Richard, anything you want to plug?
I can't be bothered tonight. No.
Nope.
Hi, I'm Richard. You can see me in places like this place right here. That's it. Goodbye.
It's a place. Oak, anything from you?
You can catch me on Twitch and YouTube at Urience, Uraence. I play here and on Friday nights and Saturday nights starting at midnight. I'm playing some 5e games. That's where you can catch me.
Brendan.
Hi, twitch.tv/Friendon. I draw stuff for RPGs. We're going to be playing some tabletop games soon. Check us out there.
And Jen.
I just started playing Animal Crossing on my channel, so if you want to see Animal Crossing, follow me on Twitch.
It is quite
Gentendo is my name on Twitch.
quite a cute game. Dion, anything from you?
Substances used on Twitch. I stream gaming and shenanigans and who'sma what's it's galore. I've been a little bad recently in not streaming. Life's been busy, but you can also catch me here. You can catch me on soon with some more tabletop with Friendon and Jen coming soon. And yeah, you can just find me all over the place.
In all the places. Hey, I'm Bert, BizLab on the internet. Check us out at twitch.tv/SteamSteelMurder and our podcast at BlueMagic, BLUMAGIK.com. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
See you later, everybody.
everybody.